can come back and give you this briefing. So our apologies for keeping you waiting. We want to remove one fear immediately so that we can remove it from the discussions and the debate. Around 2 o'clock we got another call that there was an explosion in Bramfisher where one person died and another person got injured. Upon deep investigations by the police, we established that it was a private house and the explosion emanated from a heater. I'm not sure it's a gas heater. I just want to say heater because the element of gas is so we just want to remove it so that it must not cloud the discussions here. We've already sent our condolences to the family, and we've asked our team to check the state of the person that was injured, and we wish that person a speedy recovery. Colleagues, as promised this morning, we want to update you on all areas that we committed to come back to you to update you. The number of fatalities still remain at 1. It's only 1 person. We've taken the fingerprints of the said individual. They are being assessed and analyzed, and the family members will then be notified. So we've got the fingerprints and are using our electronic system to track the family of the deceased. Thus far, unless otherwise, we've not received anyone reporting somebody missing. Sorry, I had opportunity to visit the hospital today, and I met 4 of those that are still in hospital at Charlotte Maxeke. There were 2 that were in critical conditions. And our report still confirms that those 2 are still in a critical condition. Since our engagement this morning, you will recall during our engagement we indicated that we've got 12 that were still in hospital. The number is down to 8, those that are still in hospital. And the figure is still 48 as reported, the overall people that were injured. And the hospitals are still the same: Hillbrow, Southend, Garden City, Malberton, and Charlotte Maxeke. So we want to leave it there. The second area where we committed to assist you was to get the criminal report on what caused the explosion. You will recall this morning we indicated that every institution that had anything to do with our underground network were pulled to come and check their systems. We brought a Goli gas, and they indicated that from their side, their systems are still intact. We brought the sewer team, we brought water, we brought Telkom, we brought Sosol, and as well as the electricity team. So thus far, they are still insisting that their systems are still intact. What has happened there does not come from their system. So subsequent to that, we then brought the Department of Labor, because it has experts that deal with this kind of things. They were led initially by Mr. Okay, we got a briefing now from Mr. Lisibe Rapela. Mr. Lisibe Rapela, and this is preliminary, good people. The Department of Labor indicates that the nature of gas when it explodes and what has happened here, it's similar to what has happened at Yeoville, what is known as Telkom Towers. They claim that there are similarities. And on the basis of that, there were 3, they call them junction boxes. We normally call them manholes. There are 3 manholes that are an interest to their investigations. The explosion came through those 3 manholes. And the Department of Labor, they are of the view, and from their preliminary report, that there are certain institutions that they want to interview further. Even though they've given us the report that they've given us. But from the Department of Labor point of view, and also because of the similarities that they've observed from the Yeoville Telkom Towers explosion, they are of the view that they need to interview those that have already deposited their reports. And we've granted them that permission to say, go and interview them and finalize it. So they've accepted that, so they will conclude that aspect as quickly as possible. So this is the first preliminary report that we are having that indicates that the 3 junction boxes contributed to the explosion. And they've taken us through how the first box exploded, the second and the third, and they've analyzed the nature of the explosion, and they also feel that there is a gas that they still want to experiment so that they can tell us the type of gas that they are sensing that is responsible. And I hope Mr. Lisibe Raphael is still here in case we need to respond to further questions on this one. I didn't go deeper to their technical report. I felt that let me keep it that way. We can now confirm that the owners of all the cars that were affected there have been tracked, confirmed, and the motor vehicles handed over to them. This is very, very critical for purpose of claims of insurance and also for purpose of linking those that are injured to the accident scene, and also to finalize the necessary paperwork of determining many other regulatory requirements that are needed. So I want to thank the police that they've concluded that task, because we needed to remove those cars for us to go deeper and get the information. But if we have the information that satisfies us of what caused the explosion, we can also start to repair the road. So those cars were an hindrance, but they were also a source of attraction for pedestrians. So we needed to eliminate and remove that part as quickly as possible. So all the 34 cars that were recorded there, they've now been handed over to their rightful owners. Of the 34, 29 were minibuses and 5 were private vehicles. We've now concluded that task, and that task was done by the police. I've indicated that we've identified the deceased through 2 sets of fingerprints that were taken from the deceased, and 1 set has been verified against the automatic fingerprint identification system of the police, and the other fingerprint was taken through the Department of Home Affairs fingerprint. So the 2 results, if they confirm that it's the same individual, then we will be in a position to sadly go and visit the family and break this sad news to the family. So we're waiting for that so that the confirmation from both sides should give us the same outcome. Because the manner in which we found this body that we're talking about, we felt that we might have to go back to the scene and establish that indeed we are certain that we can account for everyone. So the search and rescue dogs were then deployed to search for possible bodies and to sweep the entire area for exhibits. And thus far, we've not received any additional information that will change the statistics that we have at our disposal. What was the nature of this gas? Because the Department of Labor wants to go back and interview those that they feel that needs to give us additional information. When we were ready to come here, the information originally was saying it was natural gas. But when we received the information from the Department of Labor and the manner in which they were explaining their findings, we are reluctantly retreating that statement of natural gas so that we give them space to attend to the interviews and those that they feel that need to get additional information from them. So the angle, therefore, of our environmental team was automatically suspended because we put the environmental team there to get the nature and the source of the gas, whether it's harmful, and whether people that have gone through that place and have inhaled the gas, whether they are safe. So the environmental team and the health team, they are still finalizing that aspect, and we want to give them space. But from preliminary reports, we don't think there's any form of danger that has been recorded thus far in terms of that gas. We have noted, yes, there are people that were complaining about headaches, chest pains, and some throat pains, but we will suspend that aspect, give the Department of Labor, get the interview, because it's the confirmation of the Department of Labor that will then indicate what kind of intervention, medically and otherwise, that is needed so that we can conclude on this aspect. So the team from the Department of Labor is led by Mr. Mosetele, and they've gone back on site and they will give us additional information after they've concluded the investigation. So let me confirm this and affirm this, because I've seen many stories running. Currently as we speak, there is no confirmation regarding the cause of explosion. Currently as we speak, there is no confirmation regarding the cause of explosion. We have criminal reports from the Department of Labor. We've got reports of all institutions that have one form of infrastructure underground. Telkom have indicated, Egoli Gas, Sosol, City Power, and all those institutions that have this kind of services. The quality of the buildings, even though the technical experts continue to do their work as directed by the city manager and the law enforcement agencies, we will await, because this morning we indicated with people that were doing buildings or geotech we had people that were civil engineers, we had structural engineers, we had fire. So all of them now, they've managed to pick up whatever they picked up. So there is a consolidated report. So we are still treating that area from the risk point of view that it might have a secondary effect. So which simply means let's treat it until all these reports are finalized. We must keep it outside or close it from being accessed by people that are not authorized to be there.